All right, there we are. Hi, my name is Kara. I am with the Tillamook County Pioneer today with Noland Arbaugh. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. It's
No, you
okay.
did great.
Great.
Arbaugh, yep,
Arbaugh,
perfect.
perfect. The first Neuralink patient, and for the audience who does not know what Neuralink is, we will get into some of those details, and those will be provided in the supplementary article. But essentially, it's a brain-computer interface that is an implant that allows Noland to control a computer with his mind. Hopefully, I got that
Yeah,
relatively accurate. Okay,
yeah, that
great.
sounds good to me.
Wonderful. So if you have been following Nolan's story, you probably have a pretty good understanding of his background. We're here to do a bit of a deeper dive into not just the technology, but living with the technology and where you see that going in the future. I've done a little bit of reading on what you've some of your past interviews, so I'll try not to repeat too much. I'm guessing you
No
probably
worries.
get some of the same
Yeah,
questions.
it doesn't bother me. I don't mind answering the questions over
Oh,
again.
okay.
I know that I always, whenever like journalists, podcasters, whoever it is interviewing me, I always say I don't mind answering these questions because it's going to reach someone that's never heard it before. So I don't mind.
Oh, that's very beautiful. Okay, so well, thank you so much. Actually, that's very, very kind and considerate of you. Well, why don't we jump right into it? Our audience is somewhat technically savvy. A lot of people, retirees from like Microsoft and Intel and Boeing, and that's kind of our audience, but also a lot of farmers and just rural folks. So you get a little bit of everything in there.
Hey,
Um, yeah. So for the audience, why don't you tell them what the brain-computer interface is, how the Neuralink chip works, and what you use it for?
all right. Well, howdy everyone. I'm Nolan. So the brain-computer interface, it's very straightforward, I guess. What it sounds like, it is a um, device that allows you to interface with, in this case, a computer with your brain. So there have been some in the past. Neuralink is not the first. I like to say that I am standing on the shoulders of giants. Brain computer interfaces have been around for a few decades. I think the first one was in the 90s, actually. Um, yeah, Neuralink is just an implant about the size of a quarter with 16 threads that were implanted in my motor cortex on the left side of my brain, with geez, no, 64 threads with 16 electrodes on it. Oh my gosh, I always get those mixed up. So 64 threads with 16 electrodes on it, equaling, I guess, adding up to about 1,024 electrodes, if my math is correct. And they are just electrodes that are picking up signals from my neuron spikes in my brain, in my motor cortex. And so, everything works in my brain. All of the signals are still firing. They just can't get through because of the, I guess, break. In my case, it was a dislocation, lots of damage done to my spinal cord, so they don't get through. But when I try to move my body, all of those signals fire, and Neuralink picks up those signals and translates them into computer control. So I use it for just about everything someone would use a computer for. I've used it for gaming. I've used it for all of my scheduling and podcasts, interviews, everything. Every time I talk with people, uh, whether that's on social media, over email, over text, I do all of that. I play around on the internet in very PG ways because Neuralink can not necessarily see what I'm doing on my computer, but it can be in, I guess, technical terms like reverse engineered to see what I've been using the computer for. So not going to do anything that anyone's going to look at and raise some eyebrows to in the future. But yeah, I just use it for everything. I've been incredibly productive. The last oh man, like 6 months, I've been trying to steer away from just playing games all the time and um, being, I guess, lazy in my perspective, and trying to find a way to provide for myself long term, and that's going great. I'm finding ways to um, find work for myself and potentially go back to school and finish my degree, or finish a degree, because I'm not sure I would use my glorified political science major anymore. I think I can do something a bit more useful with my time, um, instead of a liberal arts degree. And yeah, I mean, I've just had a great time with it. Been been doing a lot this last year and a half almost.
That's incredible. So I guess let me just start asking some questions because there was
Mhm.
so much really great stuff in there that I want to
Yeah.
follow up with. So for myself, I use a lot of speech to text because I don't like to use my hands. I'm a little bit older. I have arthritis.
Mhm.
Typing is difficult. Obviously, I'm definitely not comparing my situation to yours by any
Yeah.
stretch of the imagination. But
Mhm.
I'm wondering, do you still use things like that, or do you just rely on the interface?
Yeah, so the typing for Neuralink is just not quite there yet. We've played around with a few different forms. We went from, I think we started with like sign language. So I would, sign the alphabet, and we would add in, I guess, feed a lot of data to a machine learning algorithm to pick up every time I signed A, B, C. I did that over and over again. And over time, I could sign um, like text output. It was okay, not great. And then we moved on to other things like holding a pencil. And if I hold, I guess, like imagine I'm holding a pencil and attempt to like write like I used to, then we could output text that way. It was okay. I think I got to a close to 25 words per minute with like a 80 to 90% accuracy. It's not great. It's not really where they want to be yet. So they are working on other ways to accomplish what um, someone who is using a computer with their hands would be able to do. So we're getting there. Now I use a lot of dictation still. It is the easiest way for me to communicate with people, to text things, to output text. It's not ideal. There are a lot of situations where I just would rather not dictate. If I am dictating in front of people, that's no fun, especially if I'm trying to send text messages to my friends, people that I just, want some privacy with. And then writing, like writing in a maybe a journal, writing some like creative writing, I guess. Dictation just
It's not the
isn't,
same.
it's not the same.
Yeah.
The way that you say something is different than the way you would write it. So it's just not something that I really enjoy. But for everything else, dictation is just leaps and bounds better at this point.
Yeah, I've actually noticed that I when I do creative writing, I
Mm,
can't dictate it.
yeah.
It's just not great. I get really frustrated with speech to text because
Yep.
obviously you probably know all of
Mm,
the
yeah.
frustrating the homonyms and the
Mm,
punctuation and
mhm.
knowing when it stops and starts. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Before Neuralink, I was using like Siri, and I was using the Mac OS dictation. Siri is the bane of my existence. She refuses to get what I say correctly. I would say like
Okay, I
90%.
found this on the web. First,
Look at that.
assistant
She literally
refuses
just
to
picked
get
it
what
up.
I say correctly.
Yep.
Check it out.
Thanks, Siri. Go away now, please.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about, like stuff like that. And then
that's
just trying to, yeah, I know, right? I mean, just right on cue. And then just trying to text. It's, I may be able to get like simple sentences, simple thoughts out, but any longer text message, uh, if I speak for 30 seconds and I realize that she got something wrong at the beginning or halfway through, I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. So like edit it, like, no, don't send it, edit, and then say it all again. And that could take, 5, 6, 10 tries to get it right. And at that point, it's like 10 minutes in, I'm like, I can't hold a conversation with someone like this, let alone holding multiple conversations with people. And then the Mac OS dictation is okay. It's not terrible, but it's not what I want to use. It's not perfect. And I was actually using Mac OS, their dictation software, to navigate around my computer, and that just kind of sucks. It's not great. So yeah, I've played around with it all, Dragon software, everything, and it's good for now, but I know Neuralink can do better.
I'm right there with you. I used Dragon Speak. I'm showing my age here, but almost over 30 years ago, when it I think right when it first came out, and
Yeah,
it hasn't improved that much, which is
yeah,
surprising.
it is,
So
right? Like
yeah,
I remember playing with it when I was first injured, so 2016, and they were like, "Oh, Dragon's come such a long way," and I used it. And I'm like, not like it's still not good. Like, what have y'all been doing with your lives for the last few decades? Like, how is this not like the best thing in the world at this point? Like, it doesn't seem like it would be that complicated. But I guess I'm not the one trying to solve the problem, so maybe I
yeah.
just don't know.
No, you're not wrong. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, well, let's stop dunking on all these
yeah.
companies.
Sorry,
No, it's
sorry,
okay.
Dragon.
No, it's my
I
fault.
guess
I feel the
there
same
goes
way.
my Dragon sponsorship. I guess.
The truth is that there isn't really a good. I mean, they're all I feel like 80 to 90%, but it's that last 10, 20 to 10% that makes it truly functional. So,
Yeah.
um, but in terms of the other types of tech tools and technology accessibility software that you use, have you just started using AI? Like, what kind of other tools are you using?
Yeah, I mean, we are living in such a great time in terms of AI, so I try to use it all the time to my advantage. For someone like me who isn't as capable as other people, like doing things, being as productive, or just interacting with the world or interacting with different, um, I guess, things that I would like to do, AI has bridged that gap. And so I play around with a few different AI to, I don't know, accomplish my goals.
That's wonderful. And you mentioned going back to school.
Mm.
What are you thinking about studying?
Well, I was a international studies, politics, and diplomacy with like an emphasis in French when I was in college at Texas A&M. That doesn't seem very useful or seem like something I would like to go back and continue studying. I was planning on, just doing that for my undergrad and then going to law school. So it kind of like translated enough. Law school will take anyone; they don't care about your major because you're just going to learn something completely different, anyways. Um, but I would like to go back and do more um, like cognitive neuroscience, psychology, even something along those lines. I mean, how many people can go to school and say that they might be in a textbook somewhere, So I think that's where my passion is now. I was not a tech person before Neuralink. I didn't know what Neuralink was when I applied. Um, I just, it just kind of fell in my lap. Honestly, I was extremely lucky, extremely blessed to get into the study. But I would like to go back and do something more, I guess, in line with what I'm doing now. I found a passion for it as I've been in the study.
That's really beautiful, and I really hope that you end up doing that. That would
Thank
be
you. Thank you.
awesome,
Yeah.
of course. Um, so let's kind of dive into the technology a little bit. You know, I guess the computer interface is, you did an excellent job of describing what it is. Are you open to being a pioneer in any of the other technologies that Neuralink has proposed? Obviously,
Mhm.
I, I can go ahead and say that you probably would love to be able to walk again on your own, and
Yeah.
would imagine that you would sign up for that. But
No, I think
anything else?
I'm okay like
You're
I
good.
am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need for that. Like, what good is walking, right? Like, who needs it? Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that they have, um, I guess, aspirations to release and use Neuralink for. I would absolutely love to be involved with any of it. I'm not sure they would use me. I think because I've been in this study, maybe they want sort of a fresh start with other people in different parts of the study. It might help with, I don't know, the data not having been um, I don't know, exposed to all of this stuff already. Maybe they want sort of a carte blanche, blank slate, So we'll see. But if they want to use me, I'm more than happy.
Well, I imagine that they're going to, at some point, commercialize
Yeah.
these. So, in terms of the type of I guess, hardware and software that you have now, that you're using now, do you think that there is going to be a next iteration that that you'll be a part of, or do you think that this pilot study is kind of it for what you're using this for?
I'm not sure. They've already iterated the implant, so I think maybe myself, me and P2. I think me and P2 have like the same implant, and then P3 might have one that was a little bit better. Um, and so they're already, making improvements. If they want to um, give me an upgraded model at some point, I'm more than happy. It's not something that I necessarily expect them to do for me. I know that at some point, like you said, they will commercialize it, and at that point, I would love to get in line and get an upgrade. They aren't allowed to say, hey, like when you're out of the study, we'll definitely get you a newer upgrade, a newer model. They can't say anything like that because that would be incentivizing me to stay in the study, and it's a voluntary study, so it does not fall in with the FDA regulations. They are just not allowed to do it.
Well, that's frustrating. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
it's okay. It's
yeah.
okay. I have a very specific purpose being in this study. I just wanted to help people. That was my goal from the very beginning, and as long as I can do that, then I don't mind. Like they don't need to
You're okay with
promise me
this.
anything. Yeah.
Really beautiful. Oh, well, you're a better person than I am. I'd be like, please give me all the bells and whistles. Um, how long is the study?
6 years. So I have another 4.5 years in it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
I could leave whenever I wanted to, but I don't see
One-
that happening ever.
right. In terms of like just the details about the actual device, I'm guessing I know there's no pain sensors in the brain. Do you feel it? Do you recognize that it's there? Are you physically aware of it?
No, I have told people if I lost my memory and woke up tomorrow and you told me I had a chip in my brain, I'd say you're crazy because there's no way for me to tell that it's there. If someone like bumps my head where the chip is, it might be a little bit more uncomfortable. But that's it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Um, so does it, this is like a super basic question. Does it need to charge? Like, is there a
Yeah,
battery?
I'm actually charging right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's like, I have all these wires coming out of me,
Right.
but
So
so I
me
have my
too.
headphones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but there's like a black cord here that's going
Gotcha.
into my hat.
Gotcha.
So this hat right here has a little pocket in it that they have like heat treated onto it, and so there's like a little coil that sits in the hat, and it's just over the implant, and it's connected to like a little charger base down here that I will charge and then plug into this little coil. And I'm charging right now, so I'm at about 100%. It'll turn off momentarily any minute now, and then I'll be good to go for, I don't know, I think about 5 hours, and then I'll charge again.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is there any, I'm guessing they upload some because you're in a study, like that, and you mentioned the data belongs to Neuralink in some ways. How do you, is there an upload period? Like, are you giving them, are you able to use this device 24/7, or is there a period where you're not able to use it because you're sending data to them or something?
Yeah, 24/7. It's all mine for as much as I want to use it all the time. They are collecting data, I think, constantly. There are different like data collection um, tasks that they ask me to complete. One daily, about four of them once a week, and one of them like every 2 weeks. So I will hop into the Link app and just click a little task in there, a little button, and it will take control away from me for however long it takes to collect that data. So most of them are like under 10 minutes. One of them is about a minute long. One's like 2 minutes. One's about 4 minutes. And then the one that I have to collect every 2 weeks is about 40 minutes long. So it'll take away control while I'm doing that. But outside of that, it's free to use all the time.
That's awesome. So I guess maybe for something kind of fun, you mentioned you want an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? I love robotics and robotic suits. Have you started to look at some of the companies that are actually building things like that, and are you actually pursuing something like that?
Yes and no. I have, since I've been in Neuralink, I've been exposed to a lot more of the tech field and what other companies are doing. I have definitely kept up with a lot of the advancements that are going on in the world. But since I'm in the study, I can't really like participate in any of these things. Um, Maybe after the study is over, I will find a way to get some sort of mech suit, some sort of like exoskeleton or Iron Man suit, if Elon Musk wants to throw one my way. But yeah,
I hope that he does.
yeah,
I
that'd
hope
be
you get
great.
your suit.
Yeah, thanks. There's also like, he's building the Optimus robots through Tesla, and those hopefully will be controllable with the Neuralink at some point. The Neuralink just works off a Bluetooth connection, so anything that has Bluetooth in it, you could connect to. So someday, I think everything will come off the line Neuralink compatible, just as things are like Alexa compatible.
That's awesome. Maybe some questions about how other people like what are some of the things that surprise people about this chip when you tell them about it or they ask you questions about it?
There are a few things. I think starting from the very beginning, the surgery, I think people are surprised at how quick it is and how painless it is. Um, I think my surgery took under 2 hours, which was not expected. I think they were expecting something like 3 to 6 hours. But the surgical robot that they built, they call it R1. I like to call it Tiny Dancer. Um, all credit goes to a girl at Neuralink who came up with the name, and I just fell in love with it. I'm like, that's great. So the robot that did my surgery, I like to call Tiny Dancer. It did the surgery quicker and more accurately than any surgeon on the planet could do. And one of the surgeons that is in the study with me, the one that I uh, kind of have the most interaction with, I think he is actually the principal investigator, the PI in the study, said that when he looked at my brain after the surgery, he had never seen a brain less traumatized by a brain surgery. So I think that surprises a lot of people. And after that, just how easy the device is to use. It is incredibly intuitive. When this becomes commercially available, I think people are going to be very surprised at how easy it is to use, how seamless it is. Yeah.
Do you think that I mean, and I know that this might not be something that you can answer, but given the reaction of people to your chip, do you think that people who don't have traumatic injuries will ever use this just for everyday use?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's going there. Right now, my passion is uh, obviously for people with disabilities. That's why I got in it. It's helped me so much, and I know that it can help so many people with disabilities. I would love for everyone with a spinal cord injury, ALS, or other debilitating diseases to be able to get a Neuralink and improve their life, their quality of life, and their independence. That's what I would like first and foremost. After that, I think people without disabilities, able-bodied people, as they are called, would definitely benefit from the chip in the future and just have a lot of fun with it.
That's brilliant. Um, I don't want to take up your whole day because I'm sure you're jam-packed
No,
with
it's fine.
million
It's
things.
fine. Yeah.
So I guess let's just maybe leave it on a fun note. What is the most ridiculous thing that you use your chip for?
Ridiculous thing. Wow.
Like maybe like overkill, like something that's just really silly.
That's an interesting question. So last year, the first time they gave me full independent use of the implant, I played a video game for like 13 hours straight, just overnight, didn't sleep. It was great. And ever since then, I just wanted to push Neuralink's capabilities. I was like, well, how long can I use the implant? Like, what is kind of the upper limit of like what this technology is capable of as far as like continuous use. So I decided to try and using it for 24 hours straight without sleeping, and I did, and that worked out pretty well. It was a lot of fun, and then I was like, why not have some more fun with this? So I did 48 hours straight without sleeping and using the implant, and no problems there. It worked like a charm, and I told that to the Neuralink team, and I was like, "Yeah, I used it for 24 hours and 48 hours." Um, I was like, "It was a lot of fun. It's really cool." They're like, "Haha, well, don't try and use it for 72 hours straight. You're gonna like kill yourself." And I was like, challenge accepted. So last November, I streamed for 72 hours straight as I used the implant. No sleep, just used it straight through, and there were no issues. Well, I guess that's not true. There was an issue. My computer ran out of room for the memory of like all the video I was collecting.
Wow.
So I had to like get Neuralink to help me troubleshoot that, and I like saved all the video and then moved it to like an external hard drive, then continued going. But it was still working those 72 hours. So it was something ridiculous, totally overkill. Obviously, the implant worked the entire time, and that's to be expected. I don't think anyone really thought that using it for however many hours straight would somehow like break the implant. But I just wanted to show people how capable it was for fun, and I did, and I streamed it all, and I had a really good time.
That's beautiful. I can't stay up for 24 hours in a row. I've
Yeah,
tried once and I fell asleep while driving. So
yeah.
I'm impressed.
Wow. Yeah, that's it's
Not
not.
good.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
I do not condone that sort of behavior,
I was a
but
teenager, so it doesn't count.
yeah, I've always been like this. I function incredibly well on no sleep, and I love staying up all night. I love staying up as long as I possibly can. It's something that I've always really enjoyed. I get like similar to a runner's high as I like keep staying up. I get second winds. It feels great. I love hurting my body like that, I guess. And
Pushing yourself to the limits.
yeah, that's a much better way to put it.
Yes.
So staying up 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, it was a lot of fun. Around like hour 68 ish, I got like a little delirious, and towards the end, like hour 70, 71, I remember sitting on the stream just thinking like, is this a dream? Like this isn't happening, right? Like, and I started just not necessarily hallucinating, but getting very, very very wonky.
Disassociating a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah.
yeah, but it was still great. It was still a lot of fun.
That's beautiful. Which games are your favorite games to play?
Yeah, I've always been a big Civ guy, like Civilization. So I played like Civ 6 and I got Civ 7. Sid Meier's team, the Civilization team, was gracious enough to give me like early release, so that was super, super kind of them. But I'm also a big chess guy. I've loved chess my entire life, and it was actually one of the few games that I was capable of playing before Neuralink because I was using a mouth stick, which is literally what it sounds like. It's a stick that I hold in my mouth, and I can like press on like touchscreens has a little conductive piece of material on the end. And so I used it on like a big iPad Pro, and I would just click around. And so, only like touch, like click and point sort of games I could play, and chess was one of them. And so I played a lot of chess before Neuralink, as much as I could, as much as my body would allow me to. And now it's something that I continue to play. I really, really enjoy chess, and so that's probably my guilty pleasure at this point.
I don't. Okay, you're the only person I've ever heard refer to chess as chess as a guilty pleasure. So I don't think you have to feel guilty
I
about
love
playing
it.
chess.
I absolutely love it. I wouldn't say I'm very good, but I just enjoy getting in that sort of headspace, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. I actually got to partner with chess.com and do some fun stuff with it. They flew me out to Paris, and I made the first ceremonial move for the Speed Chess Championships in Paris last year.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it was for the championship, and it was a lot of fun. Got to meet some of the grandmasters. I got to hang out with a bunch of chess people, and I got my butt kicked in some games of chess. But it was absolutely one of the best experiences ever.
I love that. Talking to you has been maybe one of the best interviews that I've conducted. So I really, no offense to anybody else.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know how true that is, or how
You're welcome to go back and watch my interview.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. It's very, very kind of you to say.
Thank you. You're a wonderful human being, and honestly, I really genuinely hope that they give you everything that you ask for. So
thanks.
Yeah.
I do too. I really appreciate that. We'll see.
This has been the Tillamook County Pioneer. I'm Kara. This has been Noland. This will go up on our YouTube channel, but there will be a supplementary article at the tillamookcountypioneer.net once our servers transfer over, which they're doing right now. So it might be a couple of days, but thank you so much, Noland, for your time. And I'll end the recording now.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.